Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Cobra Kai Season 3 just hit Netflix this past week, and there were parts I was mildly impressed and enjoyed the first two seasons of Cobra Kai. Of course, this is the continuation of the Karate Kid story, where you get Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence back from all the original cast, back as they are older, and it is their kids now that are in the drama and turmoil of the karate lifestyle. I did not like season 3 whatsoever. There were parts of the first two seasons I know I had problems with. I didn't go back and listen to my review of them, and I did not go back and rewatch the first two seasons, but I remember aspects of them, primarily the kids kind of being annoying. And this is just kind of still did that same thing. I'm really not impressed. The writing of this show is really not good. The acting, specifically the acting of the kids, is horrible. The fight choreography is really bad. There's there for whatever reason, this series Cobra Kai, scars are portrayed in the most over-the-top manner, like the worst makeup of. I don't know who is in charge of the makeup on this show. Now, of course, there's the character Hawk, who has the hair lip, but it's like a super dark scar, which is weird in and of itself. But then there was Daniel. What was her name? Courtney? Amanda? No. What's her name? Samantha LaRusso, the daughter, was cut on the inside of her arm by one of the bad karate people, using like brass knuckles with claws on them or whatever. So she has scars now, but the scars are gigantic. They're clearly like whatever paste or molding that makeup artists use to do special effects. Like there's no blending. They don't look like scars at all. They look like she has giant chunks of bubblegum stretched across her arm. But so I don't understand whose idea of scars are in this show, but scars are way overboard, way too cartoonish. Also the mohawk of Hawk is like, seems like it's getting better. Like he's bigger. I mean, like he's literally turning into like a pencil top. His head, which is just it's first off not a mohawk. It's just an oversized faux hawk is all he has. It's not like in any aspect, in any means, a traditional mohawk. So that's annoying to look at. The fact that he has this super dark scar on his face, super annoying to look at. The scars on the inside of her arm, super annoying to look at. But then also they open their mouths and speak lines that are stupid in ways that are not good. And their fighting scenes are not good as well. You have the old coach, Greasy, I think his name. Yeah, Creasy, who was the Johnny Lawrence's old sensei, of course, is back. I think he came back in season 2. So now you have 3 senseis kind of battling. There's this triangle of karate senseis. First off, I would have loved to see this show, if to rewind time a bit, when they're coming up with the idea to bring back Karate Kid, but in a new modern age. You can still call it Cobra Kai, you can still have karate, but let's acknowledge for a moment that there are other martial arts other than karate going on, because there are now 3 karate schools in this town, and they're battling against each other in public areas. Like, I was begging for a school shooter to come through and just wipe out everybody this whole time, because it was just ridiculous to watch this horrible acting. Thankfully, was it Robbie? Robbie was in Juvenile, so it's all the same kind of a drama, but Robbie's in juvenile detention because he kicked Miguel over the railing at that school fight at the end of season 2. It seems like at the end of every season they have this giant melee fight, this huge battle scene where all the karate kids are fighting each other, which probably the only fun part of the show are those scenes. But how season 2 ends is that Miguel gets paralyzed. Well, actually, he's in a coma. So the season starts off, he's in a coma, right? And just by how stupid this show is, I already knew that he was going to be back fighting by the end. And I was hoping I was going to be wrong. I was hoping that maybe he would just die. But no. So he starts off in a coma, right? Wakes up from his coma, paralyzed, right? His coach, Lawrence, right? To cure paralysis. I mean, there was a surgery that he got. And like he gets this, this kind of a rehab guy that's a super hippy dippy rehab guy, which you can't have that. That's too not really gonna work. What you got to do is you got to call him a pussy. So that's what he did. Johnny Lawrence just calls this kid a pussy until he's able to walk again. So he goes from coma to paralyzed to walking again to training karate again. And by the end of the season, he's in full blown. And this is like, it's not like this takes place over the course of 5 years. This is probably within a school season, which, by the way, he didn't go to school when he was in a wheelchair. He didn't go back to school until he was completely walking again. Ridiculous. So just the fact that you have a character that goes from a coma to paralyzed to full-fledged fighting in the very end of this season. Ridiculous. And then the show uses so much effort, so much energy to make you sympathize with the villains of this show. Like, I don't know who to root for in this show because they're all shitty people, despite the fact that the show's constantly trying to make me feel like I should be rooting for them. This season went through the backstory of Creasy and how, like, I'm supposed to feel bad for him. Like, this is how he became such a hard-nosed asshole. He's like, he was in Vietnam. Like, before Vietnam, he was just a normal nerd like all these other kids who just happens to be, like, model. Like, they're all models, basically, all the male actors in here, And that's one thing I had a problem with Robbie. Like, he was clearly like trying to be like this, this underage sex object. And thankfully he wasn't even really in the show. He cut his hair back a little bit. Like, it was a little bit too much teen drama for me, teen melodrama, whatever. But yeah, Creasy, he was picked on. He was a little waiter, and he was picked on, and he got in a fight, and he said, "Fuck it all. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go to Vietnam, and I'm gonna, become a man." And that's how he became such a horrible person, because of his backstory in Vietnam and how he had like this drill sergeant or this commander or whatever that really put him through the ringer. Which is like, why are you trying to make at least he's out of everybody? Like, they already, made Johnny Lawrence sympathetic, right? Daniel LaRusso, not the best protagonist if he is one, but, they try to maintain sympathy for him. Trying to get Creasy, like to get the audience to be sympathetic to Creasy is just like mind-blowing. Like, they do so much, like, there's so much toxic, like, even the fact that, Johnny Lawrence is calling this paralyzed kid a pussy for not being able to walk, like, literally calling him a pussy to trying to get, like, I'm going to bully him into walking again. And it worked. Ridiculous. But then also, it's like it's like whoever, I don't know who wrote this thing, but it's a weird amalgamation. It like seems like they're trying to be woke by trying to make everybody seem like sympathetic for some reason. I don't really know. I don't know who to root for. I don't like anybody in this show, right? They're all like, there's no bad guys, but there's also no good guys. It's just all a bunch of people fighting for no reason because they're just, they don't know how to control their emotions or whatever. But I just, and the complete lack of respect for anybody that actually would dedicate their life to training to become a good martial artist. Like there's a scene where Daniel LaRusso goes back to Japan, right? So they can have cameos with the people who are in Karate Kid, 2 or 3, because you got to get those cameos in. So he goes back to Japan, because he's losing his car dealership. He needs to renegotiate or whatever, and he learns this new style that Miyagi never taught him, but taught it's just like this convoluted thing where it's just like, oh, he's there for a few days and he learns this completely new style, this new addition to fight. And I don't know, the way it ends where they're leading up to, I mean, obviously there's a big battle scene, but they're leading up to trying to have this competition again. The city's trying to shut it down, but they're like, no. And all 3 of them, they're like, no, we got to do this competition. It's the only way for us to compete. It's the safe way for us to compete. So we're not fighting in school or in the LaRusso household. We need a place to compete. And so it's LaRusso, the Cobra. It's the newly formed Hawk Fang dojo and the and whatever LaRusso's, I forget what he calls his. Their dojos team up, and they're going to, if there is a season 4, which I have no desire to watch. It seems like their 2 dojos teamed up, and all of the friends are back together again, and it's going to be against the new Cobra Kai, led by Creasy. And it's just, I don't know. The end, like the last 2 episodes were okay. Like at least something was happening, but the lead up to everything was just so bad. Just horrible acting, horrible writing. Yeah, I would love this to be completely recast and rewritten into a completely different story. And then I would probably enjoy Cobra Kai, the Netflix series. But I don't. So season 3 is out if you want to watch it. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's out on Netflix. Get yourself amazing, inexpensive cell phone service and $25 in credit when you use my link, inspireddisorder.com/ting. That's TING. It's a cell phone service I've been using for years. I love it. My bill is super, super cheap with their new structured payment plans. But get yourself $25 in Ting credit to put towards a new device or to service. Bring your device over if you want. It doesn't matter. They support all phones. It's the best coverage, same low rates, now with 3 coast-to-coast networks. Go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/ting, and get yourself $25 in credit. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com, and follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a great day, everybody. Peace out!